Yo, it's the deal. It's the deal. It's me. It's Diff. Um, Figured I'd tap in with y'all real quick. I'm at the gas station. We gonna get some gas, but I don't even know what to say right now, man. Life is so unpredictable, and I don't always know how to grasp life by the reins, just by the strap and ride the horse. You know what I mean? I try my best though. I don't even really know what to say right now. Sometimes you just like, man, we all in the world going through our different things that we going through in the world. We all got our different deck of cards. And the pastor said to me one time, I don't know if it was a pastor or if it was a bishop or I forget who said it, but I remember it was in a church setting and I think it was a part of somebody's sermon. And it's a common phrase too. They said if you drop your problems down and everybody drop their problems down and somebody come and pick up your problems and run with them and you get left with somebody else's problems, that you will wish and beg and pray for your problems back. So that analogy keep me grounded. It keep my spirit in a place to know that like I'm going through what I'm going through for a purpose. Is a reason for what our life is a reason for it. Sometimes you wonder like, dang, why did God pick me to go through what I'm going through? And I realized that the goal is to make it through it. You can't never foresee like what's coming ahead of you. God don't give you the ability to have fortune. I mean, like a fortune teller, like to tell what's in the future. He don't give us that. He revealed things to us, I believe, the redeemers, but I don't think God is in the business of telling you what's going to happen in the future unless it's strictly biblical, like unless it's straight from the Bible. And I mean, where it's like it's prophecy. But like knowing what's going to happen day by day, step by step, can't do it. God plans our steps. We can make plans all we want, and it seemed like that keep being so apparent to me. Every level of my life, every step of my life, I always try to plan it out. I plan like this is what I'm gonna do. This is my goals. This is my long-term goals. Like I was taught, these are my short-term goals. Like I was taught way back in school. And I always feel like no matter what I wanted to do, it's a drawing on my life. Rather it's drawing me away from my goals or my plans or towards them. I don't know if it's just me or if y'all feel this way too, but sometimes you could spend your whole life working towards a certain goal, working towards something that you swear you want. And the closer you get to it, the more afraid of it you become. And if you happen to actually succeed and get to it, sometimes it's not even what you expected it to be or expected what it felt like it was going to be. Like your interpretation of what you thought having a thing was when you actually get it is nothing like how you interpreted it to be. Yet, if you ask God for it, you still have to steward this thing. And I read somewhere in the Bible that God gives us the desires of our hearts. And so funny about that is because when you read that, you think, well, me, I think two ways. I have like an augmented mind. So I think of that and I go, does God give me my desires of my own heart, or does God gives me the desires that I have in my heart? Does that make sense? Like when you wishing for something and you wanting for something and you asking God to deliver something, and He's directing your steps towards it, and you're putting in the work and the effort to make it to this, being successful in this. When God gives you the success in it, or He brings you close to it, or He gives you he gives you closure, and you have this thing that you've been praying God for, praying God to deliver you from or to or through, and you get to it and you have that awkward feeling like, dang, like, God, is this what I was asking you for? Or you go, hey, God, am I called to this the way that you want me to be? Am I doing it right? Am I the right person for this? Like, I asked you for this, but am I the right person for it? I felt that way so many times in my career, and I asked myself that question so many times in my career and my relationships and my family and my everything. Man, I asked myself, did God give me the desire, or were did He give me my desires? And either way, I look at it and I say to myself, well, as a man, I have to steward this thing properly. And so I find myself in the valleys of the highs and the lows. I find myself looking in the mirror, looking at my reflection. I find myself a survivor, man. Surviving through the cold, through the heat, through the uncertainty. And I say, dang, God didn't bring me this far to fail. What type of man would I be? What type of man would I be? Right? What type of man am I? Who am I supposed to be? And I look at what God's bestowed in front of me, the gifts He gave me. And I say He didn't give me these gifts for no reason. He didn't allow grace over my life for no reason. You know what I mean? And what type of man would I be if I didn't look and I didn't see that and I didn't notice that and I didn't steward it properly? And I know as a man I'm not always right. You know what I mean? The way I go about things can be unorthodox. Because I'm not normal. I'm set apart. Just like a lot of God's people, we all are set apart. God says His chosen people are chosen and set apart from the world. He says that His saints are a peculiar people. I can't say that word, peculiar. Whoever can say that word can say it, I can't. But I'm peculiar. I think you know what I mean. We are a peculiar people. The saints, God's chosen. I don't wake up in the morning and try to be perfect. I wake up in the morning and try to be me, who God called me to be. I try to be better than I was yesterday. I try to be more consistent than I was yesterday. I try to be prudent. I try to be immaculate. I try to be thorough. I try to do more research. I try to become more knowledgeable. And matter of fact, I'm probably saying I too much. I mean, I want God to move through me and continue to move through me and work through me like He been doing. And sometimes when you don't have all the answers, man, it get hard. For a young black man out here, such as myself, and you trying to be something you never been before, with no rule book or no no sure shot for sure that this gonna work or nothing. Nobody telling you exactly like, yo, here's what you do and this is for sure gonna work. Cause I don't think no other man can tell us that. I don't think I could tell another man what's gonna work for him and his family. I don't care how much I know, how much I read the Bible. And I don't think no other man can tell me. And I look at and the way you can interpret the word in the Bible, and I have the potential to have it wrong. You have the potential, as a man, you have the potential to have it wrong. As a woman, you have the potential to have it wrong. But God calls us to be leaders of our family. And it's hard to be a leader when you don't really know. I'd be a god darn fool to say I know. Right? I just feel what I feel. Just put one foot in front of the other, like my pop used to say. Feel me? One foot in front of the other, like my pop used to say. And I feel like one of these days, my foot gonna land in the right step. You know what I mean? I know that some things I can change, and I know some things I can't change. And my heart is in the right place, man. So you could look at me and you could judge me. That's cool. God says judge righteously. So when you judge me, I'm open to judgment, but I want to be judged accordingly to who I am, who I've been. I want to be judged according to what I believe, what I read, my research, how I present myself, how I carry myself, what I said when I walked in the rooms, what I did with my hands, who I touched, who I inspired. I want to be judged for them things. You know what I mean? I'm going to be real transparent with y'all right now. I got a lot of pain in my soul. My soul is grieved. I caused myself so much mental anguish and pain to my own heart. I hurt myself a lot of times. I broke hearts. I broke my own heart. I made promises that I didn't keep. You know what I mean? I ain't perfect, man. And I lay down at night and I try to go to sleep, in the back of my mind it's replaying all this. It's replaying all this. I feel it. And so when I'm feeling these things, I know that when you go to sleep, you feel that too. I know your mind replay these things too. I know we all going through this. So when I feel something, I know somebody else is feeling it. That's the type of empathy that God gave me through my pain and my struggle, is that I know, like, dang, I'm not the only one that's sitting here with this stuff rolling around in the back of my brain. Rolling. And I ask to be healed from it, and I ask to be cleansed from it. But the allure that Satan have on the world, it keep the movie rolling. It keep the movie rolling. And as soon as you try to pull yourself away from it, the reality is, no matter how much you pray, how much faith you got, how much you go to church, you can mask this. Or at least, watch this. This is what I'm gonna say. Me, so far, I can mask it. But I don't believe that you ever actually deliver from some of these things. I think God can give you peace in it. I think He can give you understanding in it. And I think you can learn to maneuver and operate in a newness, a sense of newness that God gives you. But I don't think they say when you smoke crack, my pop was a crackhead when he was young. and he was delivered from drugs and spent the rest of his living life sober. He told me that in the back of your mind, he always had a remembrance, a reminder, a taste for that old feeling. Like he knew what it felt like, and he had a taste for it. But on the same flip, he also he remembered how terrible it was as well, which gave him the strength to say, you know what, in order to not to go back to trying to feel that good feeling I felt when I was on that substance, I also too remember how bad it was while I was also on that substance. And my dad provided me that information. Like you never really fully, you always remember what it felt like. You always remember the taste of sin. You always remember. But the going back to a part and knowing the bad part about it, that's what give you that that strength to not return. Right? And I feel like that's your newness. That's when God delivers you from that. That's your newness. I used to smoke a ton of weed, and I always, sometimes I think back when I'm going through something and I'm stressed out sometimes, or when life really crashing on me, I go to thinking like, dang man, I remember when life was tough like this before when I was young, and I go hit a blunt and just blow the stress away. But I also remember how it felt being addicted to a substance, walking in the sun, trying to find a drug dealer and being associated with those people and those things. And so it gave me the strength to be like, nah, that's not the answer this time. But I'd be damned if I said that I didn't never, just the world ain't never crash on me and make me feel like that, or I didn't never remember those times. And sometimes you think, like sometimes I go back and I think like, dang, life's so tough in this moment that you begin to miss the moments where they weren't so tough. And I'll be like, dang, but I remember back then in them days, right? Those days was tough for me. To make it through them days, they were tough. And now looking back, you'd be like, dang, but they wasn't nothing compared to what I'm going through now. I will trade what I got these problems now for the problems I had in the past. Same scenario. You drop your problems down. Somebody else drop their problems. Run with yours. You wish for yours back. That's why I'm trying not to complain. And I'm trying to stay strong and power through and understand life. Because it's a lot, man. It's a lot. My pop used to say, he used to laugh at me. I come to him, I talk to him about something. And he'll laugh at me, he'll go, he always did this with his nose, he'll flick his nose. He'll go, you bit off more than you could chew, huh? Yeah, well, you made your bed, you gotta lay in it. And my pop never really gave you solutions. He'll never tell you what to do. Like my dad wasn't a person to tell you, see, you should have did this, you should have listened to me, and I told you. I think he might have said that once or twice when it was real crazy, but for real, my dad wasn't a person to like tell you what to do. He was a person to like tell you like, listen, you got to figure it out. This is what you dealing with right now. I remember my dad telling me what I was dealing with. Well, this is what you dealing with. You either gonna do this or you gonna do that. This is what's going on right now. And so if this happened, he always would say, if this happened. If this happens, then you got to do, then, you know what I mean? And this is what you're dealing with. And if it don't go that way, then it could go this way. And you got to figure out what you're going to do if this happened or if that happened. But you ultimately got to figure it out. And my dad been dead for years and years and years now. And when my pop was alive, he used to talk so much. He used to get on my nerves, man. He used to talk so much. Blah, 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 yeah, well, you don't even want to ask him nothing because he'd go on for days just like I'm doing now, rambling. What he used to say, you don't want to hear my mouth. He knew he could talk. But I'm so thankful he did, because now as an adult man, and my dad not being here, it's like he knew he was going to pass. He knew I wouldn't have him in this segment of my life. So he talked so much. And he gave so much of himself that without him even being here, like, I know how my father would think about things. I know what he would say. So it's to the point where I can ask my dad something. He ain't even here, and I could think like him and answer the question I'm asking him. If that makes any sense. I don't know how many men that grew up with their father who their father passed, or maybe he's still living and you had this ability, but I don't know how many people can relate to that. But I can ask my dad a question and I can answer it the way that I know he would, because I know him that well. And my dad is wherever dead people go. Wherever you believe dead people go. I don't really believe in having. I ain't go back to his grave site since he died, because I'm not one of them type of weirded out people who want to go visit a grave site when a nigga is dead. He not in there. Wherever he at, he not in the grave. So I don't go visit nobody's grave site. I don't believe in that. I believe my father is in God's memory, and when God come judge the earth and we are resurrected, and whatever happens, that's what I believe, and we'll see then. I really just don't even think that deep into it. I'm not a person that's afraid of hell. Oh, if you do, you're gonna hell and burn in hellfire. I don't have that kind of fear. I don't have a longing or a hoping or a wanting to be in heaven and being with God. I just don't have a longing from being away from this earth. I have a healthy understanding of being alive, that I'm living, that I'm a human being that God created. And I believe that what was meant for me to know, God kind of like directs my brain into it. He gives me wisdom to be able to read. He left the Bible, there's parables about things, right? And I believe that when it's my time to pass, and when I do leave this earth, God will reveal everything to me then. I feel like what's important on this life is having a healthy fear of God. And when I say a healthy fear of God, right? You see these t-shirts these people wearing and they say fear of God. What are you afraid of God for? That he's going to send you to hell? Or are you afraid that you're going to lose his love? Like when I be afraid of God, I be afraid that like, dang, God forbid, whatever, anything happen right now, if I pass and God don't like me, like, or I don't get to be remembered by him, I fear to live this life and do things where God is like, bro, that was distasteful. Not men, I don't care what people think, but to live and do things where it's like, dang, like God, like, yeah, bro, why you do that? You feel me? Like, I think that God is a understanding, compassionate, all-knowing God. I think he knows when you puff some weed or doing drugs or homeless. Like, you see the homeless guy over there sitting in the corner. I don't know if y'all can see him, but I feel like God knows whatever he doing right now, whatever he did to get right there. We don't know if he did some horrendous things and he's suffering his consequences from being terrible. Yet we don't know what happened to him when he was a kid. Or he could just be down on his luck and not that smart on how to figure out a way. Or maybe he in the middle of figuring out a way. That dude might become a millionaire. We don't even know. He could be in the middle of a genius plan, but right now he's sitting right there. We can't really judge him. We can judge him righteously, like, dang, right now he's right there. But we don't know what he did. But I lost my train of thought on saying that. The point I was trying to make, though, is that I would hate to be away from God's presence and because I did something that he didn't like. And so, like, that's my fear of God. Like, dang, I think God can understand that. Oh, that's what I was saying. I think God can understand that dude. No matter what he did, I think God can look at him and judge him righteously. Like, well, this is what happened to him in his past that me and you can't know because we don't know his heart. This what he thinking about. This what he working on. Me and you don't know because we don't know his heart. We don't know his brain. We don't know what he thinking about. But God, I know God does. So God might be able to judge him and know these things. We don't. I think God understands, but I would hate to be him or to be me, and God can't even understand like why you do that, or why did you believe this, or why didn't you look here, why didn't you dig deep, why didn't you fight harder, why didn't you do this what I said in the Bible, like why you didn't read the word and understand what it mean or do what it said, or why do we, you know what I mean? Like I just don't want to be like outside of like, I don't want to be Christmas and Thanksgiving every year, recycling the same old things. Life just a loop, nothing changing, nothing progressing. I have this righteous anger, man. How long I've been on this joint? I ain't gonna stay on too long. I know nobody probably ain't listening or watching me anyway, cause I know a lot of people don't like me or what I say, right? I don't know. It is what it is. But I have this righteous anger, man, because I come a long way, man, and I grew up and I seen a lot, man. And I see that the gospel is preached. I see that the field service is done. I see that if you ride around and drive around, there's a church on every corner. There's a masjid within walking distance. There's a temple, a storehouse, or whatever you want to call it. I see all these things. I see money being given out. I see food I see charity work being done. I see all these things, right? But I don't never see like a change. You know what I'm saying? Like an actual difference being made. I see the same things happening over again. I see the charity work being done. I see the gospel being preached. I see a effort, but I don't see a big change. And that's all I'm gonna say, man. I'm out. I don't wanna be on here too long. I'm out though. Y'all be easy, man. Let's change, man.